the past few weeks, we've taken you across the world on the CNB SUV trail. We started in Stuttgart, then drove to Rastatt with the GLA. Next was a long drive into southern Austria with the G-Wagon, and then back to Stuttgart, from where we flew to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, in the United States. And we've showed you the mighty GL550, the grand old G500. We scooped the GLA and also had the G63 AMG. So, when you add AMG to any of these cars, it automatically means a potent engine and some superb performance that goes with the territory. And so, our last destination is back in Germany. A hop across the Atlantic, and I've driven across now to Affalterbach, the AMG headquarters, just outside of Stuttgart. So, in a sense, we are back to where we started. Now, how do you take one of these regular SUVs and turn it into one of those growly monsters that I was talking about? Well, quite simply, you transform it into that, and all of that happens right here. Now, you can also bring your car here to the headquarters, to the AMG Performance Studio, for some custom treatment that the fellows here carry out, so that your AMG looks different. Like this A-Class turned A45 AMG, which has been finished off in a special matte white paint and has a unique interior trim too. Pretty cool. In fact, that is just the start of it. You can pretty much customize what color and material you want your car to sport, be it the leather, the alloy trims, and even the brake calipers, and much more. Definitely that. Now, it's not just those choices. Of course, you can also opt for exterior paint colors, as you've already seen. Special kinds of paints as well on offer here. This is something they call the flip-flop color, so that when you view it, not just from different angles, but in different kinds of light, it actually changes color. It's almost chameleon-like. And we've seen that on some special show cars, but it's nice that a customer can also opt for one of these. There's changing light temperature, so you get different kinds of light under this panel. So you know how the car would look at different times of the day and maybe in different lighting conditions. It's pretty interesting, and I'll tell you what, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's a good thing that I can't afford one of these cars, because I would just spend so much time in here. I'm the king of procrastination and indecisiveness. I would never be able to decide just what to finally go with. But the main reason I came to Affalterbach was to visit the site of production of those mean AMG engines. They're all made here and then shipped to the various SUV manufacturing locations that we've already taken you to be fitted into the car in question. The AMG division has a key set of engineers that craft the engines and build them by hand. The tradition goes back to the roots of the company in the 1960s, when two former Mercedes-Benz engineers began a race engine unit of their own. Over time, Daimler has taken controlling stake in the company, and since 2005, AMG is a wholly owned subsidiary of Mercedes-Benz. So right here in Affalterbach, where you have all this work being carried out, that's what separates the men from the boys, if you will. Because, yeah, when you talk about an AMG model, it's the AMG engine that makes all the difference. And this is where the magic truly begins, quite literally, because this is the start of that production line. Right through this, you can see there are individual engineers who are at work. Remember, every AMG engine, that particular engineer who worked on it is responsible from start to finish. Over 1,000 parts go into each of these engines, folks. They've really got to know what they're doing. And I can tell you, each engine can take anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours, sometimes even longer. They work about 7.5 hours a day, which means you don't have to necessarily churn out 1 or 2 engines every day. You've got to make sure that you get it right, it's precise, and that engine, when it goes out, is 100% performance oriented. The 4-cylinder engines that go into cars like the CLA 45 AMG to the bigger V6s and V8s, they're all made right here. Yes, the G63 AMG we showed you last week, its heart came from here too, even though the car rolled off the assembly line in Tuscaloosa. almost a bit of a sacred feeling. That's the kind of emotion that's in the air, because even though it's something which is purely mechanical and technology driven, it's got a certain heart to it, pun intended, because that's what it forms in that final car. Now this is a ready unit. It's ready to be shipped off to all those various assembly plants that we've been showing you on this series. And I can tell you, I have goosebumps. The kind of time I've been able to spend here has been special, but eventually it all comes down to the actual performance.
Yes, I was feeling greedy indeed, and so I got right out while the day was still bright and got a hold of the ultimate flagship performance SUV from this brand, the G63 AMG. The AMG version of the G-Wagon is plush, high-end and very, very potent. It was a fitting finale to the time I had spent trying to discover the world of the sports utility vehicle from the three-pointed star. It's time that has been very well spent, and time I shall indeed cherish.